Welcome, everybody. I'm Joe DeTulio with the Game House, and college football season is here. And today we're going to go over 5 things to watch in college football week 0. The wait is over. College football is back with week 0. Now, this is not a full slate of games to watch, but there are some interesting teams playing, and there's always things to watch in college football. And I'll be honest, as a huge fan of college football, it is just great to have something to watch other than preseason football. So we're going to get into 5 things to watch this weekend in college football, week 0. Again, we'll see what that entails in terms of like the big teams, but there's also some smaller teams maybe to watch this week that maybe you won't get a chance to later in the season. So let's start it off with Sam Hartman's Notre Dame debut. This is very important. Last season, Notre Dame went 9-4 in Marcus Freeman's first year. They had some ugly losses early, lost to Marshall, and then they had kind of rebounded and finished pretty strong. This was all without a really good passing attack. Drew Pine didn't get the job done. I think he battled pretty hard. Now he transferred to Arizona State, where he'll be the backup to true freshman Jaden Rashada. Tyler Buckner was more of a scrambling quarterback and then got hurt really early in the season. Now he's transferred to Alabama. They needed to get the passing offense going in order for this offense and this team to improve. So they go to the transfer portal and get the FBS active leader in passing yards in Sam Hartman, who will be challenging himself with Notre Dame's very tough schedule this year. In his career, 12,967 yards, 110 touchdowns, 41 interceptions on 59.1% completion. Very experienced. I think he's going to need to get the most out of a receiver room that isn't the most talented in terms of a big college football teams, and he'll have to do the best with that, and also getting used to a new offense. Notre Dame has a tough schedule. They're playing this week in Navy in Ireland. This may not maybe not the biggest game to tell how good Sam Hartman could be in this offense, but you want to see some good momentum get going for when they play Ohio State and USC and Clemson this year. Maybe they go 8-4 this year. Maybe it's a step forward from last year when they went 8-4 because the schedule is so much tougher. But you want to see Sam Hartman get the job done, and then they'll have quarterbacks who are a little bit younger on the team, like Kenny Minchie or even Lloyd Carr's grandson's committed there for next year's class, who can take over after Sam Hartman leaves. And for Sam Hartman personally, you want to see his draft stock get knocked back up. He played in a weird Wake Forest offense with like a delayed mesh handoff in terms of their read option. That really opened things up for him over the last several years, but I think he wants to show he can play in multiple offenses and do pretty well. Next one up, we have Caleb Williams' Heisman season follow-up. Last year played very, very well, 4,537 yards, 42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 66.6% completion in his first year after transferring from Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley to USC. They won 11 games, went to the Pac-12 championship game. Caleb Williams got hurt and they lost. He played through it a little bit. Then they go to the Cotton Bowl, they lose to Tulane, but a very good first season at USC for Lincoln Riley. This game, I think, will be a good chance to see if Caleb Williams could repeat as the Heisman. They're going up against San Jose State. They're favored to win by 30 points, so he just is going to build his stat line here and see what he can do. Kind of a follow-up note for this, it is important to watch their defense. They've hit the transfer portal hard to try to fix this defense because that's what kind of held them back last year. If that defense can hold up, maybe they're more of a college football playoff contender, but more so for this game, I just want to see what Caleb Williams can do in terms of putting up stats. I think it'll be really interesting to find out if he can win a second Heisman to become the second player ever to do it behind Archie Griffin. So just something I'm watching is how many points can he put up? What stat line can he put up against San Jose State? Now, usually we stick to on-the-field things with this article, the 5 things to watch, but the slate isn't very good, and there's some things that are kind of going on that aren't the most, I would say, appealing for Vanderbilt. That is, Vanderbilt Stadium going under construction. As you can see from the tweet from Jim Weber, there's pictures from what it looks like right now. They're playing Hawaii this Saturday. They're supposed to have a capacity of 11,000 fans. This game will probably not be the most competitive. Vanderbilt should win pretty well. They're favored by 17.5 points. But just interesting to watch a game on a stadium that is being constructed on currently. I know we saw that with Oregon State last year where they had half of a stadium down and half a stadium up, and it was kind of cool to watch the game. But just something to watch there. One of the best games of the weekend, though, for number 4, Ohio at SDSU. These teams have made bowl games in the past couple of years and are kind of interesting to note. Not the biggest schools, but the Bobcats won 10 games last year. San Diego State won 7. I believe the last time San Diego State missed a bowl game, other than the COVID year, was I think 8 or so years ago. But yeah, I think it should be a good game. Ohio returns 13 starters, including Curtis Rourke, because you may remember that name because his older brother Nathan Rourke played for Ohio a couple years ago. Sam Wiglusz is back as well, very productive Ohio receiver who transferred from Ohio State. And San Diego State defensively has always been a tough team. They like to run the ball. It should be a competitive game. Again, this is teams that you won't maybe see too much of this year if you're kind of tuning into the big games of college football. So it's interesting to watch them now. Number 5, Jacksonville State's FBS debut. Another one of the best games of the weekend. Jacksonville State, their first game at the FBS level after moving up from the FCS level. They're joining CUSA, and they are playing UTEP in their first game. This is going to be a fun one to watch. They were 9-2 last season, 13 returning starters. Moving from level to level up from the FCS to the FBS is sometimes tough, but we do see successful seasons. We saw Appalachian State move up pretty quickly and do well. We saw James Madison move up and do pretty well last year, even though they were ineligible for a bowl game, which is kind of wrong. But they're going against UTEP. UTEP's had success in the last couple seasons. Last year they went 5-7, though, missed out on that bowl game. Returned 10 starters. They have quarterback Kevin Hardison back, running back Deion Hankins back, and they have some good talent on the defense as well. It'll be interesting to see if they get this win. That could really lead them back to bowl contention. But I just want to see how Jacksonville State can move up. Sorry, Jackson State. Deion Sanders isn't there. Jacksonville State can move up into the FBS level and how they might do. Let me know what you're looking out for in college football week 0. Again, not the greatest slate, but we're all here for all the football that they're going to offer us. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.